experience was mostly positive.
Bro,
Just
9 out of 10, honestly.
9 out of 10.
9 out of
And
10. I was in a cab, and the Uber driver was telling me negative experiences of Qatar. So wait, how long have you been working in Qatar then? 8 years.
More than 8 years.
More than 8 years.
Yes.
And they haven't given you any like benefits or any.
Nothing. No new benefit.
here now, Monty, who's been to the World Cup himself, and he's here to tell us the truth about the Qatar World Cup 2022. So, Monty, welcome to the channel. Let the people know, first of all,
Appreciate, bro. Monty 5 star. Yeah, man. Well, good. I listen.
So, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth of the experience of leaving the UK with all the predetermined notions and understandings of Qatar, and how everyone was painting it as a World Cup that was going to be filled with controversy. And to be honest, we're now going into the knockout rounds, and it's been one of the more entertaining group stages I've ever watched. There has been more coverage around the fact that there was dramas, but it's had some of the highest TV ratings. It's had one of the highest attendances in the Mexico Argentina game, and it looks like everyone who's gone to the World Cup has had a lot of good hospitality. And the alcohol ban doesn't seem like it's been so bad. A lot of people have enjoyed the experience, and now some people are calling for alcohol to be banned in games in the UK. It's probably never going to happen, but what do you think about the games, and how did you enjoy your experience in the Qatar World Cup 2022?
Well, best trip I've ever had in my life, wallahi, like hands down. And for me, that comes mainly due to two factors: the fact that it's the World Cup and I get to watch Netherlands national team play live, Oranje, and two is the fact that it's in a Muslim country. Like the World Cup has never been held or been hosted in a Muslim country, Qatar being the first one. And I thought I'm at an age now where like I understand football to what it is, and B, I know real life, and I'm old enough to really explore life. And those two factors has allowed me to see the World Cup for what it is, and we're gonna touch on it like in way more detail as the show progresses. But honestly, bro, like it's been a pleasure.
Okay. I'm just gonna get straight into it. Before going to the World Cup, when you're hearing about migrant workers, when you're hearing about all the stuff about everything that they're building up, and it's not about football, and it's all this political stuff. When you landed, did you feel that way, or did you feel like when you landed you were just going to any other sporting event and none of that other stuff was even in your thoughts?
I think when I landed, there was anticipation that like, oh, I'm gonna see like I'm gonna be restricted to what I do. There's gonna be a lot of like you can't go here, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go there. I felt like the best analogy I could say is when you go visit someone's house for the first time, they tidy it up, they neat and air fresheners start coming out. That's the analogy that I would use, like my expectation, right? But when you land there, bro, that is just all thrown out the window. You're not thinking about all those things. You're thinking about, wow, like I am a foreigner. I have not gone to Qatar before, and I'm getting a free sim because of my hire card privileges and the fact that I'm here at the World Cup. You get a sim, they top it up for you. No, you don't pay for the first 3 days. They say, yo, we got you. Get accustomed to our culture, our lifestyle. Make sure you're connected with family and friends and social media. Boom. I was like, raw, that this is like it's the small details that you think like it's not that deep, but it really
Very
is.
hospitality.
It's very, very awesome because, bro, if I right now
What about
ocean
what about
prices.
the people who said they didn't want to go to the World Cup? What about the people who, when they were there, they were saying it wasn't as good at the opening days? People saying
No,
there was a lot of fans there that were not fans from that country. The atmosphere was poor. These were the things that I was hearing building up to the World Cup. When you went there, were those all
yes,
those things debunked, or were you still feeling like these aren't real Netherlands fans or real American fans or French fans? These are
no. I honestly speaking, like listen, before I continue, everyone has their own experiences. I'm only speaking to what I've experienced so far and
okay.
throughout my whole trip. When I've gone there, I've not seen a single bit of trouble. I've not seen a single bit of oh X, Y, and Z. The things that you said like like I saw reports where it's like it's the day of the World Cup. The streets are eerily quiet for opening day, and it's like, well, no. hundreds of thousands of people on the street. I was literally there. Like sometimes the media is just blatantly lying, and it's like when you're not there, what else are you gonna go off by? Like you don't know anything else. Like you don't know any better.
So
So
what
for
were
me,
just to be clear, what were the media lying about? They're saying that it was
then
quiet.
okay, so the media was lying about like game attendances, saying there were so many empty seats, and I was like, well, hold on, the game attendances from people buying tickets is different to people actually going to games because we all know that. How many times Man United, 75,000 capacity, sold out pretty much every game, but the attendance is never exactly 75,000. It's always 74, 900, 70. Because why? Cancellation. Life happens, And I think fans of other countries, we saw this allegation of FIFA or Qatar buying fans. Well, hold on. Who are we to gatekeep football? Since when was football specifically for a type of people? Bro, I know Man United fans not from Manchester. I know Arsenal fans not from London. I know Real Madrid fans not from Madrid. Bro, you don't have to be from where the team or country is based for you to support them. I support the Netherlands because I was born there. Cool. You can be from wherever you're from. I saw fans from Ecuador. Wallahi, in our own group. Wallahi, I'm not joking. I have footage. In our own group, we have Ecuador. There's a man saying, I support the Netherlands above because Ecuador haven't really been an established side. So in World Cups, he has this B team, and his B team is the Netherlands. So he goes to like all the Dutch games and all these things here. And when I was speaking to him, I was like, why do you support the Netherlands? He said, I grew up watching you guys' football, and it was like amazing to watch. Okay, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? So who are we now? Like, you're forgetting as well, Qatar is a very multicultural country. Doha is multicultural. If we're talking about actual Qataris in Qatar, there's only 3,000 native Qataris.
Let me ask you this. The people who work in Qatar, are they mostly immigrants
Yes, yes.
that have
90,
moved there?
I'll say about like 90, it's between like 95, 97% like immigrant workers.
Okay. And from your experiences, don't you think those immigrants are of different religions, different cultures, and different sexualities and everything else?
Yes.
And from your experiences, do you see any blatant forms of discrimination or anything else while you're there? Because people keep talking about you're not going to feel welcome based on the fact of what has been people were the pre-existing notions that people would not feel welcome of other ethnicities, of other cultures, of other things. And while you were there, did you feel like there was a lot of people that didn't feel welcome? Because I know
Bro,
you.
complete opposite. Because right now, I am going to my phone, and what I'm doing, because what I did as well, yeah, is when I was in Qatar, I was walking around, looking at different stadiums, enjoying different places and facilities. I got into it, so like I have mixed stories. I was in a cab, and the Uber driver was telling me negative experiences of Qatar. Okay, cool. And then I go to the migrant workers who are working outside of Education City Stadium, and they're saying everything is elite, everything is top notch, everything is good. They said it started off a bit rough, but the legislations were brought in whilst as the World Cup got closer. So if there's actual progress being made from Qatar, Qatar are not perfect. They're not meant to have everyone happy. Every decision that they make, there'll be a group of people that's disappointed. I don't understand why we as people don't understand that. Who are we as people to police another country's way of going about their things when our own country isn't patterned, isn't fixed up, isn't to the levels that we expect? Like, I don't understand. Like, countries progress at different periods of time. The Industrial Revolution made the West more advanced than the rest of the world. Hence why there's a term third world countries. The West, and then you have the Middle East. Two completely different sides of the spectrum.
And
but
culture.
when we're talking about the World Cup and hosting a sporting competition, why is it that their laws have become that they're under scrutiny and they're saying, oh, you're not a fit host? Well, again, there's a lot of problems going
The
into it.
the uncomfortable truth is there's going to be many hypocrisies and things that go flying about, and some people would say there's a lot of phobias going around. You
Mhm.
On one end, people are going to say there's Islamophobia. On the other end, there's going to be people saying there's homophobia. There's all these different things that people are throwing at each other. But the reality is, when it comes down to it, everyone has an agenda that they're trying to push. And let's just quickly get back to the reason why we actually started this topic. It was around football, and this is why we've spent the first 15 minutes and we haven't even spoken about a ball being kicked, because this was the real truth about the World Cup. They didn't want it to be about football at the beginning. They made it about politics. But now when we get into the football side of things, how amazing was that? The experience of watching Netherlands versus Ecuador, Qatar, and seeing them in that group versus Senegal, the dramatic games, just all the games, being there, watching it in the fan zones, watching it over here. I can tell you that it's been amazing to watch, and just covering throughout the whole tournament. This has been one of the best World Cups in a long time, in my opinion. And from your perspective, how was it for you?
Before I even get to my perspective, I just want to say this World Cup is much better than the 2018 one already. Like, it already trumps 2018. So whatever agendas you have, I don't want. If you're telling me 2018 is better than 2022, hey, no worries. I'm saying.
That's
And who hosted that World Cup? All
If
right.
I'm not mistaken, it was Russia,
And
and
they're currently banned.
the same people who wore One Love armbands were there promoting Russia.
Which again, I don't understand. But it's cool. It's cool. We don't even need to get to the fact that you couldn't watch the opening ceremony in the UK. We won't even get to that. Because you know why? It is all about the football and the
No, but it
Islamophobicness and
wasn't. It wasn't, because when Germany took the field, they didn't make it about football.
true. But then
In
obviously
the
they played.
in the most recent game, there was a protester.
And then there was another protester that was coming in to say free Palestine, and I didn't see anything about that in the news. But the one guy that's coming in with the LGBT flag and say, "Oh,
No,
super."
but you do realize protesters are usually not covered. Protesters are not given airtime on TV. Protesters are definitely not have articles written on them because it promotes more protests.
Oh, so then why was I seeing so many? Like,
Because he was dubbed the hero.
Captain America 2.0 is what I heard, but we moved. But as far as the football's concerned, like, bro, I said it in my Instagram post, man. Like, it still doesn't feel real to me, wallahi. Like, I feel like it's just unbelievable. People don't understand. Like, I'm stuttering, I'm speechless, I'm all of these things. This is very out of character for me. It's because I just look back at the past 2 weeks and it's like, fam, like, I watched so many games, and not just the Netherlands games. I watched a few other games, and I'm just like, this is elite. Like, the atmosphere. You're at a World Cup. Like, that for me was like, nah. Like, no Prem game like can top this. No, I've been to how many football games? Been to Finalissima, Final, Champions Leagues, Premier League, whatever. Bro, we international game, bro. Doesn't matter what game you go to. The World Cup, the biggest stage of all, bro. I was there, and it's like, wallahi, like I don't think it will get topped. Like, the only
Wow.
game that will ever top this is like if I watch United win a Champions League live, for example, like something like that, where it's like, okay, cool. But
Let me just stop you there, because final minute of this interview, I want to take one moment and look back. What would you dub this World Cup? What have you learned from this experience overall?
I learned the fact that people, humans, and us fans of football, bro, we love each other. Like, bro, I did a video, Brazilian fans dancing in the streets of Souk Waqif with the Lebanese fans dancing. You have the Moroccan fans dancing because their country won a big game. You have the Japanese fans cleaning the stadium. They do this all the time. You saw this in 2018 as well. But when they're winning their group and they're beating big countries, bro, immense love everywhere. You have Saudi Arabia Saudi Arabia started all of this. Imagine They finished bottom of their group, but they're leaving the World Cup probably the most happy. They beat Argentina. They was at one point top of their group. There's that fan when he was on the Korean TV network saying, "What is Messi? What is
Where is
Messi?
Messi? Yeah.
What is Messi?" Like, bro, like honestly, it's been for me. It's the World Cup for the underdogs, bro. It's the World Cup for the traditional
Okay.
powerhouses. And like one thing that has really, like, I'm gonna touch on two negatives about my experience here in Qatar. Two negatives, and I only have two, right? One is I was very much like I don't know how it works. Like I don't know the ins and outs. I would have to speak to someone that is understands like seating arrangements. But I didn't understand why, for example, why fans of a country were scattered around the stadiums. So like for example, in the Senegal Netherlands game, I was sitting in the Senegal side. So like yeah, like the picture that I sent you on WhatsApp was me in the Senegal end. And on the other side is the Dutch end. So when the Dutch scored, I'm the only one celebrating my end. Bro, it's weird. Like, I don't understand it. The other negative I had, and it was a negative, but it was expected, you know. I was very much disappointed with the European turnout in the stadiums. So, like, the Netherlands, Germany, what other country was I disappointed with?
UK,
Huh?
England.
Nah, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of English expats that live in Qatar. So there was even at the England USA game, like bro, England side was packed out. Like wallahi, they had their corners.
What games did you go to, by the way? Just
So
Netherlands?
I went to all the Dutch group games. I went to France, Australia, and South Korea, Ghana.
Let me ask you this: was it affordable if you were there to go to all those games? Could you get tickets?
Yes, because there was categories. So the was £22, but you're in the heavens.
Okay.
You're in the heavens, right? So you're up there. Then we get to 250, which is £55, and you're still in the heavens, but you're in the middle now. You're not on the corners. It's not obstructed. You have a clear view of the stadium and the pitch.
Okay.
We come lower down, and we get to £134, which is the main stand, the lower stand, and you're sitting in one of the corners again. It could be behind the goal, whatever the case is. The best ticket for the groups was 800 riyal, Cat 1. That was £178, and you was basically sitting prime seating, pretty much. It was pretty much mint.
It's not even that expensive, realistically.
Wallahi, it wasn't, bro.
Back the truth. You went from a place that was rubble to a World Cup stadium, and overall experience was mostly positive.
Bro, 9 out of 10, honestly.
9 out of 10.
9 out of
And
10.
do you think it was the right decision to give Qatar the World Cup?
Oh, bro, 100%. Bro, is this the Western Cup World? Like, is this the Western Cup or the World Cup?
Let me finish. Do you feel like a lot of people have now changed their opinion on Qatar after this World Cup?
No. I don't believe so. I think your mind was already set going into the tournament.
Damn.
And I think if you changed your mind, it's because you are on TikTok. I think TikTok changed a lot. Like, for example, the negativity was on the media, mainstream media. When you go on social, it's completely different because you actually have people that are there telling you their experience, right? So people that will change their mind, cool. They change their mind. But I wholeheartedly believe, majority of people still haven't changed their minds. Like, I still believe a lot of the people watch the news. We also have to remember we're young, relatively young. So you're obviously much older than me, but like we're in that bracket of like youth, right? In the sense that we're not in our mid-40s, we're not middle-aged where like we rely on mainstream BBC, ITV channel, like you know what I'm saying? Like we resort to social media
think
because
for ourselves.
Exactly. And we're more up to date with certain things. So I think the younger demographic, for sure, bro, we think Qatar, excellent host, right? But I do believe a lot of the people that watch mainstream news have their mindset. And I feel like agendas run, bro. Agendas run. Like it's just how
There
it
you
is.
go. And yeah, people, you already know what it is. Kitty G on Egal Talks Football. And this has been Monty and Egal. This has been Monty. You already know my name, Egal. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget. You can also become a channel member if you want. We're gonna be
Hmm.
going live on a regular basis throughout the World Cup. And Monday, I got a special guest coming to talk Arsenal also. So yeah,
Ooh.
hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Big up Monty for coming and giving us the truth about Qatar 2020.